Throughout history, Pan-Africanism has faced relentless opposition, from colonial powers to modern neo-colonial strategies. The movement for African Union, the movement for African unity has been met with resistance at every turn. Today, we uncover the deliberate actions taken to derail Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism emerged as a response to colonial exploitation and the systemic oppression of African people. It was a vision for unity, self-reliance, and liberation. But for colonial powers and their allies, this vision posed a direct threat to their dominance. Let's explore the roots of this oppression, of this opposition. The foundations of resistance to Pan-Africanism were laid during the colonial era. European powers implemented divide and rule tactics, carving up Africa at the Berlin Conference of 1884-1885. They drew arbitrary borders, splitting ethnic groups and creating tension that persists to this day. Colonial governments also exploited ethnic rivalries, appointing local leaders loyal to colonial interests and suppressing those who sought unity. This strategy ensured disunity and made collective resistance nearly impossible. When Pan-African leaders rose to prominence, they became targets. Patrice Lumumba, the first prime minister of an independent Congo, was assassinated in 1961 with Western complicity. His vision for a united Congo threatened foreign control over its vast resources. Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, known as Africa's Che Guevara, was overthrown and killed in 1987. His policies of self-reliance and rejection of foreign aid challenged the status quo. These leaders were not just silenced. Their assassinations sent a message. The pursuit of Pan-Africanism came with great risk. Even after independence, African nations faced great economic pressures designed to maintain dependency. Institutions like the IMF and World Bank imposed structural adjustment programs that cut funding for education, healthcare, infrastructure, crippling progress. Multinational corporations continued to extract resources without fair compensation, ensuring that wealth flowed out of Africa. Leaders who resisted, like Zimbabwe's Robert Mugabe during his land reform policies, faced sanctions that further isolated their nations. The battle wasn't just physical or economic, it was also cultural. Western media often painted Pan-African leaders as dictators or radicals, undermining their legitimacy. At the same time, African culture and history were marginalized, replaced by narratives that glorified Western ideals. This cultural imperialism sought to erode African identity and weaken the foundation of Pan-African solidarity. Cold War politics turned Africa into a battleground for proxy wars. External powers fueled conflict, supplying arms and funding to opposition factions. These wars drained resources and diverted attention from Pan-African initiatives. Internal divisions, often stoked by external forces, further fragmented the continent. Ethnic tensions, corruption, and power struggles weakened the dreams of a united Africa. Despite these efforts to derail Pan-Africanism, the movement endured. From the African Union to the African Continental Free Trade Area, modern initiatives echo the visions of early Pan-African leaders. They remind us that unity is not just an ideal, it's a necessity. The question is, How can we as Africans and members of the diaspora ensure that the mistakes of the past do not define our future? The answer lies in education, solidarity, and unwavering commitment to the ideals of Pan-Africanism. The forces against Pan-Africanism have been powerful, but so is the resilience of the advocates. Let us honor the sacrifices of those who came before us by continuing the fight for unity and liberation. Together we can achieve the vision of a truly united Africa. The dream lives on. Will you be part of the journey?